Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm the anime trainer, and if you've been keeping up with us so far on Everyday Morality, you know that we take individuals that want to talk about their moral beliefs and we break down what they believe into what is their base moral principle. And today we have a special guest. We have. Go
Hi,
ahead.
I'm JaxBlade, the ultimate disciple of RealAnimeTraining.com, the goat of anime training, just so you all know. Remember that. Hi, Sensei. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm about to film a Tough Like the Tunes. I just need to make sure I get the wig
Nice.
right because I forgot how to style it. So I'm so upset.
Dude,
Uh,
I honestly like I gotta give you props for all of the cosplaying that you do for that stuff because I have zero cosplaying skills. I barely know how to dress normally.
oh, yeah? Well, you could do a badass TN if you want to shave your hair, or like Kekagen guy or something like that. That'd be
Just like
dope.
a really poorly drawn
Yeah,
eyeball.
circle. Just like a circle with a dot in there, like freaking Dr. Manhattan. There you go. That's what you can.
I guess I could also pull off the Dr. Manhattan look.
Yes,
Yeah, if
yes,
I just
yes.
paint
There you go.
myself blue.
Yeah, just take all the time and do that. You can also do like little ab makeup contouring or whatever they do. uh,
I have to wear pants though.
oh
All
yeah,
right.
terrible.
So, first things first. Do you actually think that there is a such thing as right and wrong?
uh, for so this is how I would put it, because to me there is a level of right and wrong, but to others it's a level that they would choose for themselves. For example, uh like you for example, here's, I'll just start off with a big one. All right, so people will consider like an innocent person like someone who is just I haven't done any crimes or anything like that. But to me, like, if you're not an innocent person, if you go out and like you make people feel like shit about themselves for like just doing what they want to do. So for example, if you're like a bully, right? Like, and
Sure.
then like if you um do this, I'm glad I could be just so open and honest here. This is great. Yeah, so if you're like a bully, right, and you just like mess with someone consistently who's done nothing to you for no reason whatsoever, you just get pleasure off doing that, and then someone comes along and puts you down and you're like, oh, he was an innocent person. Like, to me, that doesn't count as an innocent person. Like, it's just like, yeah,
Sure, sure,
asshole,
sure.
he got deserved. So like, to me, there is right, like a general sort of right, but then there's like wrong. Like, okay, like, to me, wrong is taking your personal bad day out on other people who've done nothing to you. Right. So like, let's say you were just walking down the street and then like some guy's just like, you know what? I'm having a bad day. I don't like the shirt he's wearing. I'm going to go up to him and just like, fuck you, you stupid. It's just like, what the fuck, where'd that come from? All right. So like, to me, right and wrong is very much a thing that develops of, oh, this is the right thing to do. Like, for instance, it's the right thing to do for me to just like, take care of your friends and family, the people you care about, like to
Hmm.
support them, do what you need to do, and do all these things. And then, like, to me, the wrong thing is to take your personal bad day or other people, or like actively go out your way to make other people feel like shitty, or do things that would be quote unquote not like good to other people, like, so of course you get to the horrible crimes, as I've talked about on my Twitter all the time. It's just like, yeah,
Sure,
those
sure, sure,
people
sure.
just, yeah.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think that's my base right and wrong. Was that?
Okay. Well, what does it mean? Because well, let's talk about each of those things first. So let's talk about good
Sure.
first.
Yes.
So you want to take care of the people that are close to you.
Yeah.
Um, so why?
Because I feel like, to me personally, I feel like they've done a lot for me. And I guess like I just have this like spiritual moral code of just like, they did so well by me, I should repay them in that regard. Like, that's how I was just raised, with this sense of just like, okay, they did this and I love them for doing all the stuff they've done for
Mm-hmm.
me when they didn't have to. They could have just like thrown me out in the street or just ignored me or did none of that stuff. So the fact that they didn't and showed me such care and love means I reciprocate that care and love to me. And then I think that's why like I'm so much on the side of like, okay, like if you're an asshole to me, like your life is inconsequential to me, to be honest. All right. Like you could be
Okay.
just like say a rude shit on the internet. Like it could be like something as simple as just like, okay, you're fucking retard for thinking Sailor Moon is better than like, just troll talk, whatever,
Sure,
something like
sure,
that.
sure.
And just like, all right, dude, whatever, man. Just Merry Christmas. I wasn't doing anything, but like right now, like your existence means nothing in my little world. Like these are the people I care about. These are people I cherish. The reason I care for them is because they had the opportunity to not show me kindness or care, but they did out of the lovingness of their heart, and I love them back for it, and I want to repay them for that.
Okay, so do you feel like you're doing good toward others is out of a sense of obligation or duty because they have done for you first?
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. So like if someone didn't do something good for me, but like
Yes.
I saw, then oh no, okay, so if someone like, okay, this is very much my whole thing. If you were just like vibing by yourself, right? And like if you need help or assistance, like you're a homeless person, right? And you're just like, I'm hungry, I need food, then I feel like I'm in a good place. I can take care of this person and like make
Okay.
sure they're nourished with a good stomach. So
No,
it's not,
great. Great, great,
yeah,
great.
yeah.
No,
So
that's good. Let's pause there for a second.
okay,
So you would say that that's a good thing.
yes, for me.
Why is it a why no
Oh, okay.
why is it a good thing?
Just to share my I'm in a good place. I feel like there are some people less fortunate, and if
Mm-hmm.
they're asking for help, then I should be the one to like lend the help when if no one else is going to in that
Okay.
regard.
Okay, first off,
Hmm.
why is that good?
Okay. Why is it
Um,
good?
and second off, why is it good that you be the one to do it?
Hmm. Okay. I see what you're saying. This is good. All right. So why is it good? It's good because they're able to eat and it's good for them to survive, but it's good in the sense of just yeah, this is a quite the quandary because it's like I know why I know it's good. It's like yeah, I this person was hungry, this person was starving. I was able to show them kindness and feed them, and it's good that they can go on surviving for the rest of their day or week or whatever like that. And then it's good because I feel better that I helped someone in this regard. So it is sort of a bit of like a symbiotic thing of just like I did
Sure.
something good for this person and they're going to have a good day and it helped them,
Okay.
but also I helped myself feel good too because like I always
Gotcha.
feel like, crummy and stuff like that. So to me, it just was like, oh, I, you know, gave love and something like that.
Okay. So we have two separate things there.
Okay.
We have the act itself, and then
Right.
we have how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that you are the type of person currently that if you perceive an act to be good, you
Mm.
will feel good about it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's table the feel good about it for right now.
Okay.
That we'll probably talk about that later.
Right.
But let's talk about you actually doing the act itself. So
Okay.
you said that in doing that act, you are giving someone the ability to survive for a day. They get to eat. They get to do whatever else it is, that helps them along.
Mm.
Um, why is it a why is that moral? Why is that a good thing?
Um, a good thing to help someone who is moral in that regard. Okay, that's good. That's a good question. To me, it's just love, like as people say, like love for fellow man. Like, because to me, again, like I have a very twisted sense of morality. Like, if that same homeless person was being like a dick to someone and then was like doing that, then I would be like, yeah, fuck you. But like, if that homeless person is just I feel for me, it is a bit of like sympathy and empathy in a way of just, I see that you're in a tough spot. I have also been in tough spots in my life, so I can empathize with this tough spot. So I would like to give you something that would help me out of my tough spot. So just maybe this will help you out
Okay,
of a tough spot. So
okay.
that's why I feel like it's a good thing to do of just the empathy and understanding of just like I've been through that pain. I know what it's like to be down there. I want to help you to not be in that pain, even if it's temporarily, and then just go like, hey, you have a good day, man. Hope you everything works out. Like that to me is what it would be, and that's how I break it down personally.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm picking up that there's a lot of emotional content
Yeah.
to your moral, at least your actions, maybe not necessarily because we haven't gotten to the base of your moral beliefs yet.
Okay.
We just have a lot of the emotions that are associated with the actions that bring forth those uh, basically the emotions that are associated with those actions.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Um, so let's talk about something that's a little, I guess, disconnected from you then,
Okay.
because you're very in your emotions about like how you treat people,
Mm.
or how people treat you. It we probably need to step away from it a little bit so we can get a little bit more objective too.
Okay.
Um, so let's talk about something. We've gone frequently into this. Someone steals.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, just a random situation where somebody takes something that's not theirs, like shoplifts or any number of things are stealing.
Right.
Is that wrong?
To me, yes, but I will say the action is wrong, but to me it depends on what the action the item being
Sure.
stolen is, because it's just like, okay, if you're stealing food, I can understand. It's like, I'm hungry, I need this, I
Mm-hmm.
really need to survive, and this is my
Mm-hmm.
thing, and it's just like I will
So
do this like a
what instances would it be wrong in?
okay, if you're just like, I want that, I'm gonna take that. Like, so like to me, I'm just like, fuck
Okay.
you. Like if you were stealing like shoes or something like that, or like you go through people's like purse and stuff like that, and it's just like, I'm
Yeah.
stealing this just so I can have it for myself and rock it. Like to me, I'm just like, fuck you as a person. I don't give a shit if you.
Now why is that wrong?
Oh, because like, okay, I like to me, I'm a my big firm believer is this: like, don't start none, won't be none, right? Like, if
Okay.
someone's just like minding their business and they're just like, vibing, doing their own thing, just chilling, and then like someone comes along and is just like, oh well, I want to just go mess with this person because whatever is going on in my life, that makes me want to do that, and so I'm going to go take that from this person because I will get amusement and joy out of that. If you get amusement and joy from taking something without consent from someone else, like that to me is just like, nah, fuck you, dude. Like I
Sure,
don't,
sure.
yeah, to me, I don't like you at all if you do that to someone, because it's just for all I know, like they work super hard for it. They're just going on like, oh, I love this. This is my thing. I'm working super hard for it. And then you're just like, oh, well, I work super hard because I took it. So blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, no,
Okay, yeah.
fuck you. No, fuck you, dude. You just wanted something. You were slick about it. And so now you're trying to take that off. I'm just like, no, no, no. I don't play that BS, because you went into someone else's life and you just had to go mess with them instead of like, working yourself to get there, or like building up your own thing. Like to me, I'm just a huge proponent of just like, if you are someone who fucks with someone who's done nothing to you for no reason, or like even if they have done something to you, but it's not like let's say let's say like, oh, I accidentally bumped you and you spilled your thing, and like, oh, I offered to buy your meal back, but then like you didn't want it and you ran off somewhere, and now you're mad at me and you hold a grudge, and so like now you're gonna just like take stuff from me for no reason, and I'm just like, okay, nah, fuck you, dude. Like you're just being petty about that. But if
Okay.
like you're just like someone going through life and it's just like, oh, hi, how you doing? They doing? Oh yeah, I got these new shoes. Like it was super cool, man. Like I got them for Christmas. They're really nice. And then someone's just like, I want those. Why do I want them? Just so I can flaunt them for myself that I own them. Oh, I'm gonna go take them from him, and I'm going to just take it. Like to me, that level of thinking for it, I'm just like, no, fuck you as a
Okay.
person, and I
So
don't care.
a lot of your thoughts seem to be centered on the intent
Mhm.
of people's actions.
Yes.
Um, okay. So
Mm.
when we are talking about the removal of someone else's property,
Right.
um, that they worked for, that they rightfully own, in
Mm.
in the, I'm that there's a lot of uh, loaded words that I just threw out there. But
Right.
what about if you have, like, for instance, if you have a drink
Hmm.
that's your drink, and I walk up, you're not paying attention, and I take your drink,
Hmm.
um, like, obviously you're upset. You're upset about that because your
Yeah.
drink is gone. And
Exactly.
you from a third party perspective would be like, screw that guy,
Yeah.
because, like, he just took that guy's
Yeah.
drink.
Exactly.
But why is it wrong? And when you say in the wrong is like, why are you able to judge that as a wrong action, um, for that person to take that person's drink, for me to take your drink? Why is that?
Because it
Why is that wrong?
to me because it causes like a negative emotion and the person is happening to is causing sadness, is causing anger, it's causing
Okay,
this. Yeah, that's why I say it as
gotcha.
like
So it
wrong.
causes some sort of negative emotion or negative state in the person it's being done to.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right, cool. So let's talk about what's something that you really think is wrong?
Murdering, raping children, murdering innocent people, stuff like that. Like I always
Okay,
talk about on Twitter. So yeah.
sure, sure. The stuff that gets you and me, like, Rorschach ready.
Yeah, Rorschach. Yeah, get the meat cleaver out. Let's cut these motherfuckers. Yeah,
Because
that.
as much as I try to focus on, what the best moral outcome of there's certain things that in my brain flip a switch.
Yeah. It's just
And I
like
get
I don't care. Die. Let's get the
um
sword out. Here we go.
here we go.
Yeah.
Um okay, so someone kills a person.
Hmm.
Just we're not going to say what type of person that is. It's just a person. You have no idea
Right.
who this person is.
Right.
Um why is that wrong?
Okay, so this is where I get into the fucked up thing because like I really need to know the reason for the kill. Like I'm just going to be completely honest
Sure.
here because like if someone kills someone and it's on the news someone killed someone, I'd just be like, "Oh, that's a bummer." But then I'd be like, "What did the person do? Like was this person just a psychopath and they killed the
Sure.
person or did they do something wrong and then they like got beat to death or something
But
like that?"
what's important here is that the fact that you have that sense of nuance about wanting to ask that question means
Mm.
that you actually have, like, an underlying value that would help you determine what
Mhm.
is a justifiable and not justifiable homicide.
Exactly.
So we need to dig into that.
Okay.
So what obviously a justifiable one would be,
Mm.
somebody has done some really messed up stuff, like
And then someone
harmed
put him
the,
down.
yeah, and someone put them down. Let's just say that we have a situation where, um, let's start nice and easy.
Okay.
Somebody is just a normal, mind his own business, does his own thing, whatever else,
Mm.
and a you know crazy guy just puts a bullet in
You're right.
it.
Mm.
Why is that wrong? Obviously, I know what you would do to crazy guy,
Yeah.
but why is it wrong
Because
for that
to
person
me,
to have killed?
this person literally was just in the thing of minding their own business, going about their entire life, just probably like, oh, I have to go to school later. Oh, I have to go pick up Becky from work. Oh, I can't wait to have dinner with my wife later. And then just bam, it's over. Like you took everything from that person for no justifiable reason. You did it just because
Okay,
you're
hold
crazy.
on, hold. Justifiable reason is loaded.
Okay.
Um, why does that? Why does any of that matter? Why does any of that have a bearing on its rightness or wrongness?
Because again, it's to me, again, it's just like I'm going to cause a negative outcome for this person. And like being murdered, that's a horrible negative outcome that I think we all agree on. Just it's terrible. Like you're dead, you're gone unless you become a spirit. And it's just like another thing where I'm just like, you because I think the biggest thing for me is just the whole don't start nothing won't be nothing thing of just like this person is going down the street literally just chilling, mind their business, probably got their headphones in, and this person decided I'm going to impose my will and boom, knock it out of the park just because I want to. It's fun. That's why I did it. And to me, that is wrong because it's just like, oh, well, this
Okay,
person had a probably had a lovely life, and you just went and ended it for no reason at all. You just went and
Okay.
did it because you wanted to. And to me, that is incredibly wrong, that you just decide to take out whatever um joy or insane or whatever reasoning you have for killing this innocent person. That is just incredibly wrong to me, that you decide to go mess with this person who did nothing to you. Like, that to me is the biggest thing. It's just like, this person did nothing to you, he hasn't harmed you, he hasn't done anything, you just picked him out and just like, I'm gonna kill that guy because it just looks like fun. And that to me is just like, that's wrong to me, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's ignore the actor.
Okay.
Let's focus on the person that is being harmed.
Okay.
Um, because that's for the most part, that's where I feel like the majority of your issue is coming from, is
Right.
that someone is experiencing either a negative emotion or
Mm.
a negative state for their life or other people's life. Because
Or
obviously,
outcome.
if they're dead, they're not feeling anything anymore.
Right.
But their family members are now
Mm.
dealing with that issue.
Exactly.
So would you say that it is that your sense of something being wrong, because
Mm.
we take it right now, just the wrong. Your
Right.
sense of something being wrong is dependent upon the consequences of that
Yes. Yes.
action, and whether or not it harms people.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Harms people specifically who have nothing to do with the scenario. Like, to me, like, because again, I've always say this all the time. Like, if someone did something and then you like go do whatever, then it's just like, shit sucks, but you shouldn't have done that to that person. But like, if
Okay.
you
What is the least action that would justify such a thing?
um to me, just like I guess like that thing I mentioned earlier, like you accidentally bump into someone and you're like, oh, I bumped into you, and you apologize, and then the person just can't let it go. It's just like, okay, no, you're dead. Bang. Like, to me, that's just like, wow, dude, like, even apologize to you for that. Like, fuck you.
Sure, sure. No, I meant like, okay, what would be like for someone to cause obviously like the effect on my family and other people is probably going to be the same regardless.
Right.
But uh what is the smallest thing that would justify someone killing me?
Uh
Like, because obviously, like, we know the big stuff, but what's the
yeah.
smallest thing that would justify that in your mind?
Okay, so like, okay, there's the rave, killing, stealing, uh smallest justifiable thing. Like, to me, I guess it would just be um so we can make it like a hypothetical, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so like, let's say you and this guy got into like a sparring match and you beat his
Okay.
ass. And then like he was upset that you beat his ass, and he was just like, oh well, he ain't gonna beat my ass again. Bam, and did that. That'd be like the smallest thing to me. Just like, what the fuck? Like, that came literally out
Okay,
of
so
nowhere.
he would be justified in killing me
Oh,
because
no,
of,
no, no. Oh no, justified, right?
yeah,
That's what you're trying to
justified.
say.
Justified.
Justify.
What would
Oh,
justify
okay.
it?
I guess smallest thing I can think of is probably just robbery justified to me, because like, if you steal something from the person who's just like, maybe they're just trying to, I don't know, like, get on with their day, and then like you took something from them, and it's just like, oh no, fuck you, and then it's just like they found out, and then they went like No Country for Old Men and like hunted you down and something like that. I mean, I'd still be very upset and kill the person, but it's just like, to me, I could see the justification of why they would do that, because it's just like, you stole something from them, and then they were like,
Okay,
okay, yeah,
sure. Let's say that someone has stolen $1,000 from someone,
yeah, okay,
um, and then they, in retaliation, kill the person.
yeah.
Is that murder justified?
To me,
Or do
honestly,
you, because you can understand it, but it still not be justified.
exactly, because it's
But
just
what
like, to me. Oh, okay. Go ahead. What were you saying?
so like you can understand why they would do it, but that doesn't
Mm,
necessarily mean it's the right thing to do.
mm,
Um,
right,
so if your mind says, yeah, that's the right thing to do,
right.
then that's fine. I just need to know that so that it helps us point in the direction of what your
Okay,
base value is.
okay. So like they steal $1,000, someone comes after them, just plugs them. I can be on the side of the person. Now I could understand why they could have stolen it. It could have been like, oh, I want to buy a bunch of merch or something like that. Oh, I need to buy it to support my family. Oh, I need to do it. But again, it's just the fact that you took something, you went into an area, because it's like it's always like how I talk with like the Jason Voorhees thing, even though it's a horror film, whatever. It's
Yeah.
just like, okay, this is his turf, this super zombie
Okay.
turf,
Yeah.
right?
Hold on. Let's
Okay.
completely drop everything we were just talking about and let's talk about Jason.
Oh yeah, let's do this. All right,
No,
yeah.
because that's a character that you've thought a lot about. You've
Yes.
seen how it plays out. You have opinions about the things that he does.
Yes.
That's a perfect testing ground for your moral understanding because you already know all you've probably thought about it a lot.
Oh hell yeah, I
Okay.
have.
So yeah, go ahead talk about that.
Okay, so Jason, like, first off, the whole story behind Jason is just like he was this poor kid born with like a deformity and a hydrocephalic head, and the only one who ever showed him any love, any kindness, and any care was his mother. And like she was the only one who would just like take care of him, be kind to him. And whenever he went to like school because she had to work and be a lunch chef, she would like leave Jason at the campgrounds, and others like students are there would just like pick on him, make fun of him, call him freak show and all this stuff. And he would just like, he was just this kid trying to mind his own business, doing nothing to nobody. And then they would just like insult him, and to the point they bullied him so bad that he accidentally fell into the lake. And then his mother found out that the kid fell into the lake, and the camp counselors were too busy having sex, so they didn't see it. And then she mentally snaps like, you are the reason my son is dead. And so she goes and kills all the counselors because she believes like all of them are the reason that she was that she lost her son. Then Jason washed up on shore, sees the counselor killed his mom in self-defense. Jason like snaps too, because it's just like this is the only person he's ever loved and ever cared for, and she's gone now. And so like Jason goes and like hunts down and kills the person who did it, even though it was self-defense. But then like he just goes back to the turf, and then like years later he just becomes like this super zombie, and like anyone who goes onto his turf he will like end. He will fucking just be like, okay, you're on my turf, fuck you, get off, I'm gonna just kill you. And so like besides part 8, but that's another tangent for another day. And so it's pretty much like become known at this point that there's this super zombie on Camp Crystal Lake. If we go on that turf, he will kill us. He will freaking like wreck us up. He regenerates from like a freaking nothing. We've sent military people in there. He keeps killing them, but it shows that he does not leave his turf. He just wants to be left alone. And if, as long as you don't leave him alone and you go off his don't go on his turf, you won't. Don't start none, won't be none. And so that's why I love Jason so much, because it's just like he was this poor kid who did nothing, no one, and just wants to be left alone. He just wants to be left alone right now, and
Okay.
people onto his turf. And it's just like, all right, like even if you are innocent, if someone tells you, like if I was like up to you and was like, hey, there's a field up there, because people warn people all the time, like don't go to Camp Crystal Lake. There's a death curse. There's something that happens up there. People die all the time. Do not go there. And then people go there and they get kills. It's just like, well, you were warned. Like let's say there was something in the news recently with this couple, yeah, I think it was like some people, and they went into the woods, right? And there was this big sign that said beware of bears, and people were saying like don't go through that forest, there's bears there, take the sidewalk right here, you won't run into any. And then they were just like, oh okay, whatever, I'm just gonna go through and go through this bear territory because I'm freaking hyped up on Mountain Dew. And guess what, one of them died and the other one got effed up
Sure.
pretty bad. And then they were like interviewing like, I can't believe bears would do that, bears should be extinct. And it's just like, it's not the bear's fault, it's your freaking fault, you went in
Okay.
there. Like who the fuck, like to me self-responsibility plays a key role in how much
Yeah.
I like care about like whether you die or
Okay.
not. Like if you're in like shark infested waters and there's shark infested waters and you're just
Sure.
like, oh man, oh I can't believe he got eaten by a shark, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? There was sharks,
Sure.
there's saltwater crocodiles swimming around. It's just like,
Okay.
if you do something to yourself, like self-responsibility, I have no sympathy for you. And like to me, like whoever did the deed is just like, that's on you, dude. Like that is on
Okay.
you.
So
Yeah.
if we look at instances like that, Shark, Bear, Jason, they're pretty much on the same level.
Right.
I I honestly don't even see them as moral actors. They're
Right.
more just like forces of nature.
Exactly.
Um, and so it you almost can't, in my opinion, um, say that what Jason is doing is wrong.
Yeah, like I would not call
Um,
Jason evil because he does not enjoy killing, like say Freddy or Chucky or the Jinn or the Leprechaun, or like so many horror characters who love killing. Jason doesn't wake up and go, "Oh, I get to kill people today." It's pretty much just like, "Is anyone on my turf? No, okay, I'm just gonna chill here. But if someone is on my
sure.
turf, I'm gonna
Does
kill."
does Jason have a like a cognitive understanding of like human relationships or any of that, or is it just sort of like something that drives him?
It's just pretty much the reason he does it is like he is compelled to kill for his mother. Like he always thinks of his mother, like remembering, like seeing like his like sound effect of it's like his mother, like in his head saying, "Kill them, Jason. Kill them all. They
Yeah,
did all this wrong stuff to both of us.
gotcha.
Kill them all." So
So
like
he's
that's
he's
what, mm,
basically crazy.
yeah, yeah. He's been crazy for a long, long
Okay.
period of time, and now he's just a
So
dead zombie. So it's just like he's not even human anymore. He's
all
like
right.
a
So
revenant.
so we're sort of into a different discussion now with him. So let's not talk about him. Let's talk about the people that go up there.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So you have a personal responsibility to, you know, not make stupid decisions. And
Exactly.
if you make stupid decisions,
It's
you're
on you.
it's on you.
Yeah.
So, somebody goes into um a war zone,
Right.
like the Rambo movie,
Oh
with
yeah.
all
Yeah.
where all the like the missionaries want to go up in there, and he's like, "Nah, don't do that."
Exactly.
Now while you would still say that the people who killed those missionaries did a wrong thing.
Hmm.
The missionaries were also very, very dumb.
Exactly.
Um, so okay, so maybe now that I think about it, because of the nature of how Jason operates and how he is,
Mm.
maybe that wasn't the best option, just because he's so much like a force of nature.
Right.
Um, so let's think here.
Oh, so you want to talk about like someone who like the missionaries thing again? Or
No, so let's I guess let's pause it. Like we'll move away from that, because sometimes
okay.
when you're trying to figure it out and you get stuck somewhere, you back up and you go into a different location to try to, like,
Okay.
the door closes, you got to find a window.
Right.
Um, so let's talk about lying.
Okay.
Is lying wrong?
Um okay, so I again have a mixed opinion on this because it really depends on the situation to
Great,
me.
great.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's
That is
let's
what.
let's hear that.
Okay.
What does it depend on?
Okay, so like for instance, let's say someone accidentally I don't know, like oh so, okay, for example, let's say like, oh, I broke a vase, but I had it repaired before the day was up. This is a low tier one. I had it repaired for the day was up, and then like you can literally tell no difference. And then my parents got home and they saw the vase and it was completely fine. And they're like, "Does everything work out fine?" And you're just like, "Oh yeah, everything was fine." And you lied about it, and it's just like, okay, that's completely, you lied about it. There's no harm done to anyone. Like there's nothing like, oh my god, this happened. And now
Okay.
a lie where like something is terrible to me is just like, oh, shit, there's some crap going on right now with this freaking a guy touching girls in their sleep or something like that when he was on Twitter. Like it's some
Okay.
weird thing. Like this girl was talking about how when she was in bed, this guy would just crawl in and like grope her, and then like he would pretend like he was drunk and be like, "Oh no, I was drunk the entire time," when he was sober the entire time. That lying is
Sure.
fine. up. Like it's just like you're actively doing something wrong, what I consider wrong to someone, and making them feel uncomfortable and giving them a full batch of negative emotions because you want to make yourself feel pleasure from whatever you're doing, because like it's just, oh, I'm groping this girl who's not consenting to this, and I'm going to pretend like I'm drunk because of that, just so I don't get in trouble and be like,
Hmm.
oh no, I didn't do that, I was drunk the entire time. And then like or sometimes if like a lie to help a friend, right? Like for example, if there's something where they're like, oh
Real quick, just so we
yeah,
remember. I'm gonna write these down because we all want to go case by case.
okay,
We got vase,
face,
um, weird creepy guy.
yeah.
All right, go ahead.
And then like oh, what was I saying? Let's say there's a thing where something bad happened to like a friend or something like that. But oh no, wait, let me see. Oh, way to lie. Let's see. Okay, here's perfect example. All right, so let's say like your friend gets into a breakup, right? And they're heartbroken over this breakup,
Yeah.
and you're just like, okay, yeah, this is, you're great and whatever like that, and you're always there for them all the time. And then years later or months later, they get together with someone else. They're super happy. They're good. They completely forget about this old person. But like something you found out was like, oh, this old person did cheat on you during the day with this thing right here, but you like, you've moved on, you're happy now. And it's just like that to me is just like, it really depends on the situation. Just like, do you want to bring it up and just be like, oh, I might potentially put him in a bad mood, even though he's happy and good, or just like, okay, whatever, shit, just get on with it. Like to me, it
Hmm.
really depends on the scenario. Like for example, like I said, if the person is, oh yeah, this person was cheating on this person for this amount of time, and you broke up together, and they then years later it like he's happy, but you found out about it like recently. It wasn't like you found out about it back then, you didn't know back then. Like if you knew back then and you didn't tell, that'd be fucked up, because it's just like
Yeah.
you should fucking tell right on the spot. But like if you found out, like let's say he's 5 months into the relationship with this new girl, and then he finds out like this thing,
And he's
like
he's
it's just,
basically moved on.
yeah, he's basically moved on, then it's just like, do you want to potentially bring him down, or do you like, because I know some people will bring up like, yeah, that
Okay.
girl fucking
Okay.
cheated on
I
you
th-
too.
I think that wouldn't it depend on um your knowledge of the person, because
Yeah,
the question would arise, would he value that information now?
right.
Like, would he want you to tell him?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Like, so I guess I would be like, I'd play it by ear and just be like, yeah, man, I heard some like BS. Like, do you want to hear? And just like, and he's just like, nah, I'm like good or something like that. But then I wouldn't be lying because I like told him like this.
Sure.
Um, again, I guess it really does depend. Like, he's just like, oh, can you believe that? Oh, let me think of a better one, because I actually have a better one I was thinking of
Okay.
that.
No, no, that's cool.
Um, um, let's say like, oh, shit. Hold on, fuck. There was a good one that just popped into my head. Okay, so for example, in hmm, ooh, I'm trying to think of some anime ones, because like there is some anime lies that I was just like, oh, you're
Sure.
validated to
Well,
do that.
if you want, we can kind of like go over the notes that we have already so that they're
Sure.
gone, and then
Yeah, sure.
okay. So let's talk about the vase really quick.
Yeah.
You have the vase that you've broken. You've put it back together. Nobody can tell.
Yeah.
You could take that sucker to the grave with you if you wanted to.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
you good to go. So when your parents ask you, "Hey, did everything go okay?" and you say, "Well, yeah, nothing's wrong."
Yeah.
Um, you know, in some sense, everything's okay because they'll never know.
Right.
But in another sense, obviously something did happen.
Mhm.
Um, is there not some sort of uh, do you feel like it's dishonorable to do that on some level?
On some level, yes, I do feel like it's a bit dishonorable, but to me, it's dishonorable if you like.
Sure. Okay. Well, what's dishonorable about not telling your
Well,
parents about the?
you're not being honest about it. You're just like, oh yeah,
Sure.
I broke it and I
Uh huh.
didn't tell you that I fixed it and stuff like that. And like to me, like honestly, I can say if I was in the situation, I eventually would tell like years later, just because that's how who I am. I just like to clear stuff up. But like if I was in the situation or a friend told me about the situation, I wouldn't be like, okay, yeah, you have to tell them. Like to me, if something is like literally no harm, no foul, and you literally can't tell, and it's just like, yeah, dude, there's no
So
harm,
do
no
you
foul.
feel like it's a little bad, but it's so because it's a little bad, it's permissible, or do you feel like it's morally neutral?
To me, it's honestly morally neutral because, like, if you were able to repair the entire thing and it's completely like you can't tell anything was wrong with it at all, then it's just like, yeah, you're good. Like, if there was like a thing where it was like, oh, it has a little crack on it and you're like still lying about it, then that'd be a bit of a, okay, dude, what you do, like something like that. But like, if you honestly like fixed it to the point that there's nothing wrong with it at all, then that's like completely, fine to me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. I like that because that gives us a standard to talk about the weird creepy guy.
Yeah,
Okay, so obviously the weird creepy guy was a different situation because the people were conscious, he was pretending to be drunk. That's
yeah,
obviously a, you know,
blatant lie.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a blatant lie. They experienced violation.
yeah.
They had those negative emotions attached to it.
Hmm.
Um, but let's imagine a scenario.
Okay.
Let's imagine a scenario where you have a person who is completely unconscious,
Okay.
cannot feel anything,
Okay.
and would not remember, nor would there be any evidence of or damage dealt by
Hmm.
someone touching them inappropriately.
Right.
So no one would ever know.
Right.
There would technically not be any harm,
Right.
and let's see here. What else would there would be? And so there wouldn't be any like lasting negative emotions or effects attached to it.
Right.
Um, I is so let's talk about that action. This is not necessarily about lying anymore.
Hmm.
Is that action wrong?
To me, to take advantage of someone who, even though they'll never know and never will know, and like you were just like, I'm going to get pleasure, and if they ever did find out, then that would be like cause harm. Even they
Let's just assume that you know for a fact that
they'll never know. You just went through.
no one will ever know. They are not harmed. Like there's no bruises. There's no whatever else. You
Hmm.
just you copped a feel, um, like
You
and
got the feel, or did you like insert or something like that? Like
I
take
mean
advantage
like
sexually.
I mean obviously like copping a feel is still assault.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Of course, I'm not trying to
Yeah. So
I'm
yeah
making
yeah
that very.
yeah.
I'm not trying to justify that at all. So it's just
No. So what I'm saying is like I'm trying to get as far away from anything that could be like um, construed as damage because
right.
on some level if there's like insertion involved you could argue that there's some sort of like
See, yeah, like, it could be
change to homeostasis of the body or something's going on that's you could be say that's damaging,
right,
but like if you touch somebody's arm while they're sleeping,
right.
that's would you say that that's assault? No,
No, no, no, not at
probably
all.
not. But if you touch somebody's like breasts while they're sleeping,
Right,
then you'd be like, man, that's kind of messed up.
right.
Well, why is it messed up? We
To
know we
me,
know that it's messed up, but why is it messed up?
well, to me, it's because this person, it's all about like the consent of the issue to me. Like that is what the reason why it's wrong to me is because like, okay, let's say you were seeing this girl hypothetically and she's your girlfriend, and then like, you groped your titty in your sleep, but like she made it clear like, oh, I'm okay with that. Then that's one thing because it's just like, oh, like there are some couples I know who are just like, oh, you can wake me up with like a BJ, or you can like have sex with me while I'm
Sure,
asleep. And to
sure,
me, I think it's odd, but I'm just like, okay, whatever. As long as you are healthy and safe in your relationship, by all means, do what you want to do. You're grown. Do what you want to do. But if this person is just like, oh, I have a crush on that girl, I want to go take my I want to go like see her titties, and I'm going to pull up her shirt, squeeze them, and just be like, yeah. And then I'll know for a fact she'll never know about this, and no one will ever know about this. Then to me, it's still wrong because it's just like, you know for a fact that if this girl was awake, she would not consent to this. She would not be okay with this,
Okay.
what you just did. And you are taking this knowledge and being like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. What are you gonna do? All right, you're not gonna wake up to remember this. No one saw me do this. And to me,
Okay.
that just like really says a lot about like the mental state of the person. Just like, oh no, I'm that narcissistic where I just like, I know for a fact that if I did this, I would never get caught with it, and I can keep
Okay.
doing it. To me, that's just like not right at all. Like, am
So
I?
we know that the victim
Hmm.
does not have nor will have any knowledge of the actions.
Right.
We know that. Um, we say that it is wrong uh, because that if the victim were awake, they would not have given consent,
Right.
and consent had not been given anyway.
Right.
So even if they would have, they
Hmm.
didn't.
Exactly.
Um, so it's not something. So the rightness of this action, the rightness or wrongness of this action, doesn't seem to have anything to do with the action with the harm.
Hmm.
It's something else.
Right. It's the men.
What it
It's the power dynamic of just like, I am putting my power over you that you cannot do anything about, and you will never know about this, and I'm going to just take
Okay.
advantage of
So
this.
what's
And
wrong
then,
with so you're describing it right now. You're
right.
describing what this is, but why is that wrong?
To me, it's wrong. Just because I guess it's because like the reason, to me, the reason I see it as wrong is because I know, even if this woman never finds out, she goes to the grave with it. I know for a fact that if she did ever find out, like there was a small itsy bitsy 1 billionth% chance she ever did, she would feel like so much pain and devastation from that. And the fact that you are causing pain to an individual who's done nothing to you negatively or done nothing
Sure.
like,
But
yeah,
it's
like
not real pain, it's potential pain. She's not going
potential
to. We're in I mean in this particular instance we're positing that it's never going to happen.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I still, to me personally, I still see it as wrong.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so do I. So do I, but we need to figure out why we see it as wrong.
Okay. So I, hmm, I see it as wrong. It's because, all right. I like, honestly, like, let's say, for example, this has happened to men as well, right? Where it's just like, okay, if what I like to do is I put myself in the situation, and
Yeah.
let's say like if I was in that situation and I would never ever find out, and then someone, I don't know, some woman I don't know or some man I don't know did something to my body when I was asleep, and even though I would never know, like that just gives me such a disgusting feeling inside of myself. And to me, if the person knows for a fact that if this happened to them, they would feel that disgusting feeling as well, but they just don't care, that is wrong to me even more.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's this sense of empathy again,
Yes.
that has to do with a potential.
Yes.
Um, and so once again, the negative reaction that has occurred, the all those feelings, um, those uh, are never going to happen.
Hmm.
But it's the fact that
They could.
they could happen to someone who experienced that sort of thing, and so you're applying that value to that same person.
Exactly.
Like so if she did know,
Hmm.
it would be a like it would harm her.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so there's something about if an action uh if knowledge of an action would harm an individual,
Hmm.
um or knowledge that an action occurred would harm an individual, then that makes it wrong
Right.
on some level. But at the same time, um, do you tell your friend that his girlfriend cheated on him?
So
And
you
it's
tell your
like,
friend.
like so
Mm,
I mean like there's a difference here because the main I guess the main difference is that um, the person who was assaulted in their sleep, who will not know,
Mm,
still had an action done to them,
mm-hmm,
and there was still someone who did that action
mm-hmm.
who had bad intentions.
Exactly.
Um, okay, what's wrong with the person? What like if let so we've obviously talked about the from the perspective of the person who is the victim.
Right.
Let's talk about um,
Individual doing it.
the perpetrator.
Okay.
Um, so the let's think about why it's wrong for them to do it. You know, we've divorced all of the other stuff from the victim side
Mm-hmm.
because they're never going to experience it. All of that, you know, all that. Why is it wrong for this person to do something to someone, even though that person will never know and there's no damage?
Uh, because they, to me, the way I see it is they know for a fact that it's just like, I could get away with like groping her boobs right now and no one would ever know. And
Mm-hmm.
that just like that thought of just like, I'm going to assert this power over someone who cannot fight back and I'm going to enjoy it. Like I receive pleasure. I receive the pleasure from
Okay.
doing harm to someone, even if there is no mental harm done. It could be
So
considered
okay, so
toxicity. That's what it is to me.
the fact that they are doing something that somebody would not want them to do,
Mm,
even though it doesn't there's no harm. I mean, obviously like touching someone inappropriately or
mm,
touching somebody without somebody's consent is basically, you know, an act of violence, period. But in this particular situation that we're talking about, being there no like visible physical or emotional harm attached to it, we still think that there's something wrong with it. Um, it seems like it has to do with um, like something bigger,
mhm,
like the potent. Like we talked about potentials.
mhm.
We talked about uh, what if this was the case. We talked
Right.
about what if uh, what you know you put yourself in their shoes, how you would feel if that was the case.
Exactly.
Um, and I think there's something there because it's like there's a higher level of morality that
Mhm,
is so you seem to be thinking about does this cause harm,
mhm,
does this cause pain, does this affect people's lives, does it make their lives harder, and if so, those are bad things.
mhm. Yeah, if you take pleasure causing harm to someone who's done nothing to you negatively, that to me is just not good at all. Like
but all but also it seems like doing actions that um, would produce those results normally,
mhm,
um, but don't,
mhm,
would still be wrong.
mhm,
Um, is that because is that something to do with the potential? Like you put your imagine yourself in that position. How would
mhm.
you feel? Or is it more having to do with, well, what if everybody did that? What kind of world would that be?
A little bit of both, to be honest. Because like to me, I always like put myself in the scenario of the person to understand and empathize. It's like this is a horrible thing that just was done to them. So like to me, because it's just like, oh yeah, I wouldn't let that shit happen. Because like to me, I'm very aggressive. Like if someone, because I people have tried to touch me before, and I make it very clear, like I will fucking break your hand if you keep this up. And I have hurt people before doing that. So to me, it's very much a thing of uh putting myself in the scenario and realizing how I would react volatilely And so like them doing it to other people is just like, yeah. And then if it was just a worldwide thing where people did this to other people, I'd be like, yeah, that's a fucking thing. And like to me, all those people doing it are just like, yeah, your life is no better than freaking toilet shit. So yeah, you need your fucking head cut off. In my opinion, like I don't. To me, your life becomes non. And your life is inconsequential at that point to be like, I don't care because you did this horrible thing and you're trying to like get away with it and just be like, oh yeah, that was super fun, something like
Okay,
that.
so we know the general things that cause harm.
Yes.
We have an understanding of what causes pain.
Mm-hmm.
We have an understanding of the thing that causes discomfort in other people, the emotional distress, all that other stuff.
Right.
Um, so the types of actions that would cause those things
Mm-hmm.
would be covered under wrong.
Yeah.
Because somebody can intend. Yeah, okay, all right. So let's say that somebody's intending to kill somebody else.
Okay.
Okay. So they pull out a gun, they fire, and nothing happens.
Okay.
The person doesn't die, the gun misfires, they're fine.
Okay.
Did that person commit a wrong?
Again, to me, it really depends on what the person, what they were shooting at,
Sure,
did.
sure. I mean, it would, if they had killed them, you would have been like, you're, you're going down.
Yeah.
Like, so like,
Okay.
not
So
a
they,
justifiable killing at all. So the person intends to kill this person who isn't innocent, but
mm,
fails.
mm-hmm.
Is that action wrong? We're
Yes.
okay. So the intent is making it
Yes.
wrong,
The
even
intent behind it of just like,
even
I'm
though
gonna
there was no harm.
yeah, even though there's no harm and stuff like that, and then they can go on like, oh well, guess I'm not gonna kill anyone, and then like go live the rest of their life or something like that. To me, it's just like, no, you fucking tried to go kill this random person for no justifiable reason to me at all. So it's just like, fuck you, dude. Like, what the hell? Like, what the
Okay.
fuck? Like to me, the intent behind it, it's all the intent. Like the intent is just like, yeah, you wanted to do this
Okay.
to feel better. So like, yeah, no, to me,
So we've got harm and we've got intent.
yes.
So if you have harm, and obviously that's a portion of the equation,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have intent to do either harm or good,
Mm-hmm.
and that's part of the equation.
Right.
Um, is there something that connects those two things? So you have you have harm, and then you have intent to do harm. What
Right.
is the connecting thing that makes both of those things wrong?
The only thing connecting to me personally is just um if the person if you're doing it for the pleasure of yourself to a person who has done nothing to you, but if you're doing them to someone who did something fucked up or like did something to wrong you in some regard, I'm like, to me, moral wise, I'm just
Sure,
like, yeah,
sure, sure,
do,
sure. But
but like,
let's imagine a situation
okay,
like, let's call it Schrodinger's murder,
sure,
where we have in this particular instance somebody fires a gun
okay,
at somebody in a box.
like already dead,
Okay, so no, so somebody's like trapped in a box.
okay,
You can't see them.
okay,
Okay, or eh, or you know what? Yeah, you fire a gun and
mm-hmm.
you don't know if you killed them or not,
Okay.
but you fully intended to.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a state where someone is simultaneously, because we don't know,
Right.
um, dead
Mm-hmm.
and not dead.
Right.
Um, obviously, both of those situations are bad
Mm-hmm.
because somebody intended to kill somebody.
Right.
In one of those cases, somebody's dead. In one of those cases, somebody's not. It's the exact
Right.
same scenario. Um, if we take a look at the scenario where we have the person who intended to kill
Mm-hmm.
and the person who's dead in the box,
Right.
we open it and oh, they're dead. Um, what is the connection between intent and result that makes those things that makes it both of them wrong? What is the common denominator of wrongness?
Well, I mean, if it was like, say a game like, oh, shoot the person in the box, haha, you can get something, and just like, well, that just makes me look at the person like, why would you want to shoot a random person in a box that you don't know what they've done or you don't know what they did or anything like that? You're just doing it because, oh, I shot a person in a box. Why'd you do it? Because I just shot a person in a box. I wanted to do it. To me, that's fucked up because it's just you again are your intent was just I'm going to find amusement by or amusement or pleasure or some form of satisfaction by shooting this person in the box because that's why you're doing like you're trying to get a satisfaction of like, oh, I'm gonna shoot this person in the box for whatever reason. Why? Just because I need to do it or whatever. Like I'll be satisfied in some regard to do this. And to me, it's wrong because the intent is just for personal reasons and you're taking again like you're causing a negative outcome to this person who's done nothing to you or regard or
Okay,
just there.
gotcha, gotcha. So negative outcome is obviously wrong because negative outcome because
Exactly.
you have someone who has died, somebody, and therefore you have the people connected to this person are affected.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ripple effect across whatever else.
Exactly.
But then you have intent to harm,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that you intend to harm, even if you're not able to,
Mm-hmm.
um, creates this sort of situation where the world is somehow being threatened.
Right. Because it's just like
Um,
oh, you intended to harm me with that gun. How do I know you're not going to go get a knife or something like that and just like try to attend to or hurt me again or like
sure.
keep going coming after me or you just doing it for whatever reason. Like that's what it is
Yeah,
to me.
intention to harm is in interesting. Intention to harm is in and of itself sort of a an act of violence,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not carried out. Um, like for instance, Jesus said that if you hate someone, that
Mm-hmm.
it's the same as killing them. If so,
Mm-hmm.
like if you want them dead,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same as killing them as far as like moral is concerned. So like there's sort of a connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, so it
Mm-hmm.
seems like much like one of our previous people
Mm-hmm.
that you are very focused on, at least in the negative sense. We've talked a lot about the negative sense.
Right.
At least in the negative sense, very, very focused on what causes harm
Right.
or what is intended to cause harm,
Mm-hmm.
which, we just covered is in that because it could create that world
Mm-hmm.
or it could create those actions or it's the type of, thing that could create a negative outcome.
Right.
Um, so let's talk about um, the positive aspects then.
Okay.
So what's so something that's good like let's see here. Hmm.
Making food for someone.
Yeah, so let's say feeding somebody who's hungry.
Okay.
Why is that good?
Because they were hungry, so they were in some sort of discomfort. You took notice of that discomfort, and you were able to empathize that I've been hungry before, and you were able to go, okay, well, I'm going to make it so you are not hungry, and so you will have a good rest of your day. And I'm doing this because my intent is for you to feel better and good about yourself. And if you feel good about yourself, I'll feel good about myself, and then that's why I consider it good.
Okay, it's good because there's lots of reasons.
Mm,
Um, so the first one being that they're feeling hunger, which seems to be you know, if somebody's very, very hungry, if they're starving, that's a negative state for them
exactly.
because it's painful. Um, and feeding them will alleviate that
Hmm.
negative state. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's the alleviation of harm,
Pain.
basically
Yeah.
pain. Yeah, the elimination of pain.
Mm.
Um, so would you say that it is more what is more important, the elimination of pain or the uh, promotion of some sort of pleasure for that person?
I'd say the elimination of pain, like the pleasure will come second. Because it's just like you can do something for someone that like may not be pleasurable at first, but will pay off to being pleasurable, like chemo doctor stuff. Like that's
Yeah,
not pleasurable at all. But then afterwards they get pleasure from the fact that they went through it and now
sure,
they're healed.
sure.
So
But so basically, you're saying that there's layers of of
mm,
of positive interaction. Like for instance,
mm,
this is something that we're very familiar with. That
mm.
sometimes a workout is horrendous, and
Yes, it's
it's you put through the ringer and you hate it and you just want it to
gonna
stop.
die. Yeah.
And you do that on a pretty regular basis. You put yourself through that pain, but it's for a higher good.
Mm,
It's for something that's greater than the pain.
exactly.
And in the same sense that if you just focused on feeling good all the time, you would be doing yourself harm
Right.
because you would end up, you know, your comfort zone shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, and then you end up weighing 600 pounds
Exactly.
and
Yeah, exactly.
and
And
you're
it's just like
completely
can't
immobile.
move, and now you got diabetes and you got heart disease and all that stuff.
Okay.
So it's just like, yeah, like all that pleasure led to something bad in that regard.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah. So you are definitely you're definitely in the consequentialist camp as
mm,
far as morals go. Something is right or wrong determined on solely on the consequences
right.
um, that it produces. Um,
Right.
but it's a little bit more than that because you are also concerned with intent.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Um, so when you start getting concerned with intent, you're obviously no longer concerned with actually just the consequences.
Hmm.
You're concerned with potential consequences.
Exactly.
And so that means that you are not necessarily concerned with uh, good that is produced, but good that might be produced. Because you can think of a world that
Mm,
is uh, potentially better if people did things
yeah.
that were intended to be good.
Exactly.
Um, and so you start to you start to move into more into like the utilitarian camp, where happiness is the highest promotion of happiness is the highest goal. And when you say happiness, I don't mean like, oh, golly gee
Golly.
willikers,
Golly gee
I
willikers.
feel really happy right now.
Yeah.
It's sort of a stand-in for like the general like acquisition of human desires. Like you desire things because they will make you happy. Um,
Right.
and so if you do for other people in such a way that it promotes their happiness,
Mm,
or the things that they want in life,
mm,
then it's good. And if you do things that eliminate people's suffering,
right.
then that is also good,
Mm,
because it is removing the pain in the world. Uh, so you're definitely more sort of in the utilitarian camp.
oh, cool.
You're my second utilitarian that I've got so far.
Oh, nice.
I feel like you have a little bit better of an understanding than the last
Mm.
person I spoke to about utilitarianism.
Oh, yeah.
And that may, I don't know if you've ever heard that term before,
I have,
utilitarianism.
yeah, I have heard utilitarian, but we respond. What does it mean again exactly? Just so
So
people
yeah,
know.
well that's basically what it means is that you are concerned with promoting the happiness of others, and
Right.
in your case, uh, you seem very concerned with the emotional aspects of things.
Yeah.
But utilitarianism isn't necessarily just like emotional happiness.
Right.
It's the promotion of things that are good for people's well-being,
Mm-hmm.
because those promote happiness.
Oh yeah, that makes
So
sense.
like you're going to do something for somebody that may not make them happy,
Mm-hmm.
but it puts them in a better position
Mm-hmm.
that will bring happiness.
Yeah.
Does that make
Exactly.
sense?
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense because, like I always said, like, oh, if you gave me like Kid Boo's powers, while I turn into like the Punisher for like whatever how many hours, I would also like one of the things I would love to do is just like go to the hospitals and then like kids who are like burn victims or like have things wrong with them. I'd love to just heal them with the Boo's healing magic, and then just
Seriously,
be
if
like, yeah,
if Fat Boo had like any amount of brain power,
yeah.
he would, like, you could start a religion on Fat Boo.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like same thing with like Anti Venom did in the Marvel comics and stuff like that. It's just like you just go around and heal a bunch of people because, like, to me that whole notion of just being able to help people who are suffering, like those poor kids who have no chance of like recovery or something like that, and just being able to go, I have the power to heal you. I can make you just go away, and I'm doing this just because I know you'll feel better and then I'll feel better for helping you, and also just you'll be able to go live your life and you'll be a good person. Hopefully that'd be good. But then like also I'm just like, dude, I would freaking just go Space Punisher, just fucking just terrible stuff. But it's whatever.
Okay. I guess since we've sort of arrived in that general place,
Mm-hmm.
because I was watching this happen as we went along in the conversation, and I knew that's sort of the direction that we were going into.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to see if there was like a different, you had a different level of understanding of it, or and you sort of do in the sense that you seem concerned with um, the, I guess you understand that it's more than just the actions themselves, that
Mm-hmm.
there's a larger interplay of things at work.
Exactly.
Um, so what would be, because I asked you the question before about, is it more about the kind of world that it creates? Do you remember
Oh yeah, yeah,
when I was
exactly.
talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
Um, when somebody has an intent to do good, um, but let's say that you have a situation where you doing good um, is going to negatively affect you.
Okay.
Um, and people will hate you for what you did, even though it was a good thing.
Oh, you mean like if I killed a bad person and then like they're like, oh, I can't believe you killed this person because of that whole like
Sure, it's
you
like
kill you in the better.
you were like, you killed Carnage.
Yeah.
Carnage is gone.
Ripped him in half.
But
Yeah.
everybody's really upset with you now because you committed murder.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it's, and now you're in the process of doing that good, you're actively harmed in the long run, because now people don't want to associate with you. You maybe lost your job. There's a bunch of, and now you're in a pickle, in
Okay,
a
see,
tight spot.
in this situation, because I've actually thought about the situation, like I was a superhero and or I would be more anti-hero, bordering anti-villain at times. But like if I was like in this situation and I kill someone and all these people are like, I can't believe you killed me. Like if you kill someone, you're no better than, like, I would just honestly do a speech of like, I don't give a fuck because this person, how many innocent people this person kill? And you're mad at me for putting them down, you're all fucking idiots. I don't give a fuck if you're mad at me for this whole thing. I will gladly do it 10,000 times over again because this person was harming innocent people who did nothing wrong and I put him down. And if you have a problem
Okay.
with me putting him down, fuck you. Fuck you. And
So
I dare you to come at me.
so
So,
even
like,
even though it is negatively affecting you now,
mm-hmm,
and no amount of you giving speeches is going to make anybody change their mind,
mm-hmm.
um, you would still do that action, because why?
Because it would help people safe. Like if this person's going around gleefully massacring people and I put them down and then like logically
Okay.
everyone's mad at me, I'd just be like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. Because I would, again, like even if I say my speeches and they don't connect, I will literally just say it logically again. So like, you're upset at me for like putting down someone who gleefully murdered women and children. Think about that for a second. Yeah, you dumbass. Yeah, get the fuck out my face. Like that's how I would see it.
So you have a situation where Jordan is negatively affected, possibly a lot, but the world is positively affected.
Yes.
So that action is good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, let's imagine a situation where um, you are negatively affected by not your own choice,
Okay.
but the world is still positively affected. So there's a common utilitarian thought experiment
Mhm.
that's an argument against utilitarianism, or at least a problem with utilitarianism.
Okay.
You have someone who uh, is basically a sacrifice. They're going to be tortured for their entire lives,
Mhm.
but in return, no person on the planet for the entirety of that person's life will ever have a headache.
Just
Ever.
that.
Ever. So you have one person experiencing a ridiculous amount of pain,
Mhm.
okay, versus 7 billion people evading a wide variety of pains for the for the their whole lives.
Mhm.
If you were to weigh all of those together, it seems like just by sheer number, headaches win.
Right.
But there's something that seems wrong about that, right?
Well, to me personally, no. Like if they said like, hey, you're gonna be tortured the rest of your life, but everyone on Earth is never gonna get a headache, I'd be like, fuck you, and just get on my day because it's just like get some aspirin, motherfucker. I don't
Sure,
care.
you don't have a
Like,
choice, but you don't have a choice.
oh, I don't have a choice in this
You don't have a
scenario.
choice.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
I'd be pissed off. No, that'd be
is
like
that
wrong for me.
no? But is that now? Let's imagine it's not you. Let's imagine it's somebody that you don't know who
Okay.
is now being tortured for the benefit of mankind for their entire lives. Is that wrong to do that to that person?
Someone I don't know, so I don't know what they've done.
It's just it was like from 5 years old for the rest of their life.
Oh, from 5 years old from the rest of their life. Oh, damn. Yeah, I'd be like, that's honestly to me, I'd be like, that's kind of wrong to do that to a child. Just like, okay, this kid was born like 5 years old, you took him, and now like they're just being tortured, so everyone on Earth doesn't get a headache. To me, that's still wrong in that sense. It's just like
Okay,
you took
why
a
is it
child,
wrong?
because to me, a headache is such a minimal thing. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
honestly what it is. It's like it's such a minimal thing to like go, oh, you'll never experience it again. Like to me, it's just like, no, no, that's so
Mm-hmm.
stupid. That is
Think,
so
but think,
freaking dumb.
but think about the amount of like productivity that's lost due to headaches, the
Yeah,
amount of pain that that every person on the planet experiences over the course of their lives for all the headaches that they have,
yeah.
like, and you say something, headaches are pretty small, but there's plenty of people that have regular headaches that are
Migraines.
completely debilitating,
Oh
like
yeah,
me.
exactly. Right.
So you add all of those things up, and then that's a lot of good that's promoted in the world, because how much more good could there be if all that negativity is removed?
Exactly. I agree with that, but I still feel like there is just the justification of just being, oh, just because there's more productivity. Because like even though like there is a thing of like, okay, yeah, I have
Or
a headache.
productivity, happiness, whatever you want to.
Exactly, exactly. Like whatever, like that factor. Like, well, I do agree that it would be good for majority of the people. Like, and I am for certain situations. Like, okay, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. But in like this scenario right here, to me, to take a kid who is like, oh, just a 5 year old kid, just getting started with life, and then torturing them for whatever reason, so that literally 7 billion plus people will never experience a headache again. While I see the good of that, I still feel like it's still wrong because it's a child to me is just like, oh, this kid is just so
Okay.
innocent, he's
Sure.
doing
No, I
whatever.
mean I'm very much in that same camp as you. So let's imagine a completely normal adult that has
Okay.
never really done anything wrong,
Okay.
and now they're going to be subjected to that.
I still feel like bad. It's just like, okay, why was this person chosen to do this, be tortured in
It's a
whatever
lottery.
way? Yeah, exactly. It's
You
just
know,
like,
it's completely random.
exactly. Like to me, it's just like, I could be like, oh, that's cool, and be like, oh man, that's not right. Like you know what? Like, that's rough, buddy. Pull a Zuko, that's rough, buddy, and just be like, let
Sure.
them go get their stuff on. But to me,
Cuz it's
I
not
feel like
affecting you. It's actually making your life better.
exactly. I think it's
But
just
is
because
but is
I
it
could put
wrong?
to me it is because I have a lot of empathy, and put my even though like would I know about this person, or is it just like, oh, all of a sudden like a headache and they don't tell why? It's just like, oh,
So
this one person is being tortured and your headache's
so no,
fine.
nobody knows. Somebody's
Okay.
doing it in secret.
Okay, if someone's doing it in secret and I don't know, then it's just like,
But but you don't know, but like you looking at it right now can
hmm.
still say whether or not it's a wrong thing to do.
Oh yeah, to me it's wrong because I can put myself in the scenario and be like, I wouldn't want to be tortured for like what 100 plus years of life for like 7
Gotcha.
billion people. Like to me, I can see why it's right, but for the most part, for me, it's like heavily on the
Okay.
wrong area. It's
Gotcha.
heavily on the wrong area.
Gotcha. So what about it is wrong?
That this person did nothing to nobody is being tortured for the rest of their life just to make people feel better. Like to
So
me,
there's
it's not fair. That's what it is to me. It's not fair.
okay. So what does it mean to be fair?
To me, to be fair, it's just like, oh, did they volunteer to do it? If they volunteered to do it, then I'm just like, yeah, by all means, that's you chose to do that,
Gotcha.
like because you took the self
So
responsibility to do that. But the fact
okay,
you
that
didn't have
goes
that,
back to your sense of personal responsibility. There's
exactly,
this you have a choice in your own life. So
exactly.
um okay. So does that have to do with some sort of because you are you appealing to some sort of like objective standard of fairness, or are you
Mm,
saying like um I don't want to try to put words in your mouth,
mm,
or are you saying like back when we were talking about the kind of world that you
mm.
would that you would want to live in, you would you wouldn't want to live in a world where that kind of thing
Happen.
would happen, even if the result is positive.
Exactly, I wouldn't. That'd be just like to me. Yeah, well, is experiencing it. I like if I was just going about willy nilly, had no idea, then that's one thing. But the fact that I'm looking in, seeing it, and this person is just being like tortured for the rest of their life,
Gotcha.
just because to make us all feel better, I'd be like, yeah, that's not right to me.
This is actually a parallel to our weird creepy guy.
Okay.
Because in this scenario, nobody knows that this guy's being tortured, but
Hmm.
it's still happening.
Right.
And in the scenario with the weird creepy guy, um, nobody knows that he, you know,
Groped
copped
her.
a feel, but it still happened. And if you think about it, you would imagine a world where, if that was the case, even though you don't know,
Hmm.
if you imagined that world, you wouldn't want it to exist.
Right. Exactly.
Now let's think about why you wouldn't want it to exist. Why
Uh,
don't you want that world to exist?
because someone's taking like just to me it's just so insanely disgusting that someone would like take advantage of you at your most vulnerable when you're asleep, and the fact that they get pleasure from doing that
Sure.
just
Let's
disgust
talk about the headache thing again.
the headache thing. Okay,
Yeah, why would you not want that world to exist where
because
that
this
occurs?
person is being this innocent person is being like tortured every day and night just to make like this big thing happen all across the world. And to me, even if it is beneficial, it's still wrong like to do that. Even if like a headache is like boost productivity and we're able to be like Futurama and stuff like that, to me, it's still wrong in the sense of this person did nothing to no one, was minding his business, got picked, and now he's being tortured the rest of his life. And to me,
Okay.
it's not fair because he had no say in it. It just happened. He like to me, you should always have a say in something if you want to do it or not. And if you don't have that say, that's not fair to me. Like it's just like
So
is that taken
it
away from?
seems like personal choice on some level is overriding um, for you uh, the the whole like promoting happiness and removing pain sort of thing.
Mm.
It seems like personal choice is overriding that.
Yeah,
Um, like consent.
yeah, consent.
Okay. Let's see here. Is that because there is something uh, sacred about humanity, like individual humans? Or is it more self interested in the sense that if a world like that exists where it is possible for a human being to be randomly selected to be a sacrifice for other people, other people's general well being, that means that I could potentially be one of those people.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Which one?
Well, it's the whole thing of like I just imagine if it was me in that scenario. That's what it is. Like it's just like I could have been the one chosen, and then it's just like I would have been suffered and like doing all this stuff. And this poor guy is like doing it, and I can empathize with his pain just by the fact that I could have been in that scenario.
Okay.
Mm.
So really strong on the empathy.
Yeah,
Um, you don't want it to occur to you. Um, and so because it's occurring to somebody else and you understand that if it was occurring to you,
mm.
you don't want that to occur.
Exactly. Exactly. It's funny. Like I have like a lot of empathy, but then I also have like a lot of like indifference around. Like personally, like there's a lot of stuff where I'm like incredibly indifferent, like Saitama level, where it's just like, okay, that shit no sucks, but whatever, man. But then like there's some things where it's just like, no, I generally do care a lot. Like it's so funny, like going back comparing like how I was years ago to like now, because now I'm just like there's some things that make me tear up a lot more often now because like I care and I can empathize with it. Like seeing like this like there was this thing with like this woman, like they called her like the ugliest woman in the world, and all these people were sending her death threats and saying she could kill herself and die and stuff like that. And like watching it like made me tear up, just the fact that they were being so cruel to this woman who literally is just trying to live her life. And then like just imagining myself in that scenario too, but just wanting her to get out of it. But just like I have this very high level of empathy, but then I also have a very high level of indifference if it like um oh, like if a robber gets like killed, or like a fucking guy like gets into a street fight that he intended to and gets killed and stuff like that. It's just like, okay, you cause those actions to yourself. Like again, like self responsibility and empathy are like two very big things to
Yeah,
me.
I definitely see that, and I feel like they are actually interconnected.
Hmm.
Because the empathy, you putting yourself in somebody's shoes, you're understanding that as a person,
Hmm.
they didn't do anything to deserve that, and so
Hmm.
you understand, and
Hmm.
but if you can at the same time you're putting yourself in the shoes of somebody who is doing something that is stupid,
Hmm.
and you're like, whatever, man.
Right.
So
Exactly.
okay, so empathy, personal responsibility, promotion of uh, happiness, or elimination of pain.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so there's something that connects those three.
Hmm.
So we have, because the promotion of uh, happiness, the elimination of pain, that's what we're going to cover under that in like pretty much the same thing.
Right.
Um, so we've got that personal responsibility and empathy.
Right.
Um, when I when I say those three things to you, is there anything that connects them?
Repeat the first
So
two again.
so you have basically the concept of utilitarianism that we've been talking about,
Exactly.
the promotion of happiness, the elimination of pain,
Right.
And then you have your concept of personal responsibility,
Right.
and then you have uh, the empathy. So
Yeah.
you're imagining yourself in other people's shoes.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It,
Like,
is there something that connects all three of those things, or is
um,
or is
hmm.
one of those things the bedrock of the other two?
I feel like self responsibility. Yeah, I feel like self responsibility is probably the bedrock of all of it, because it's just like if you're like
Okay.
a homeless person and you were being a dick, like, hey, give me money for food, blah 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 blah, and then like it's just like, okay, yeah, no, that's not gonna help. That was your personal responsibility, that but you acted in a way that was just like, okay, yeah, you acted like a freaking, rude person. I'm not gonna like help you. But the fact that you're
Okay.
just like, hey, I really need help. I'm being humble right now, asking for help. Just please help me. Then my empathy opens up to you. Like, my empathy will open up to you more
Okay.
if you're just like being genuine with me, like I need help, rather than someone who's just being aggressive and grumpy, even if they have reason. Because like I'm always about that. Don't take your personal bad days out on other people who've done nothing to you to make it worse. So like that, I guess, like, yeah, definitely
Gotcha.
self responsibility would be the.
So somebody being responsible for their own actions, and in because you have wants, you have desires, you have needs that you want to get fulfilled. Any of that stuff, you have things that drive you.
Right.
Um, you are the only one who experiences those things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you're the only one. You're the only person who has the responsibility um, to do the work necessary to achieve those things,
Right.
whatever those things are.
Right.
Um, because nobody else has any level of apprehension of that. Like I can't feel anything that you're feeling, no matter how hard I try. No matter even if I really, really try to empathize with your situation, and I think I know.
Mm.
No way do I ever actually know what you're thinking, feeling, or anything.
Exactly.
Um, so you trying to do things according to personal responsibility, uh, chasing after things that you want, you're going to run into uh, situations where your wants, needs, and desires are counter to other people's wants, needs, and desires.
I would say, yeah, like I would hope if like my wants and my needs and desires would be equally met by someone else I'm looking to keep in my life, then yes, I would say.
Sure. So let's say that something really small.
Okay.
Um, you you want the last piece of pizza really, really bad,
Okay.
and somebody else also wants the last slice of pizza really, really bad.
Right.
Um, you don't know this person,
Okay.
um, and you're both there. It's
Right.
the last one. Um, you both have competing interests.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
And that in that scenario, like honestly, um, again, it really matters like if that guy was like a douche about it or a dick about it. But like if I see like honestly, for me, if I see like someone really wants it, then I'll just give it to him. It's just like I don't know why. It's just like I feel like, no problem, dude. You just go ahead, take it. Like I've done that like a lot of times before. Like if he was like, "Oh, dude, are you hungry? Like you can have my cinnamon roll if you want. Like there you go," and then just like give it away or something
No,
like that. Like even it. Mm,
no, I remember when we were in the hotel room, and they sent me the wrong order, and
yeah.
you were like, "Dude, do you want my?" I'm like, "No, man, that's your food."
I was offering, man, because it's just like I don't like when people are just like, oh man, they didn't get any. So I was like, yeah, you take it, go by all means. Like
um,
that, that is definitely a part of my character that I'm just like, yeah, I will definitely be like, yeah, go ahead, take it. I can always get some more. Like it's no big deal. So
okay.
yeah, go ahead.
If you have, so let's imagine, um, you have uh, a situation where two cavemen
Okay,
want food.
okay,
Okay, there's only I want food, Ugg want food,
mm-hmm,
and they're going to come into conflict because of their competing interests.
Okay.
Um, at base level, they have several options.
Mm-hmm.
They can uh, kill the other person and take the food.
Mm-hmm.
They can steal the food and run like hell.
Right.
um, or they can cooperate.
Right.
Um, and that level of personal responsibility, I think, plays into that.
Right. Yeah, because I think like the cooperation thing is just like, okay, yeah, that'd be good, because like if you get into like a fight with someone, this like, even if you're like a beast, like you both could potentially take damage, and now it's just like, okay, well, now you got to like deal with this, and you got predators to deal with and stuff like that, and you got to watch out for all that stuff because you got into this stupid fight over food, and now it's just like, okay, you ate your food, but now you're like, your hip is broken, your arm is like cracked, and now you got to keep walking and doing this stuff. So like, to me, that just seems like, okay, yeah, that's no good. um if you steal it, then it's just like, okay, the other one can chase after you, but then you got to like run, and then like you could be going through like various areas and stuff like that, and then like they could potentially catch up to you, start another fight. Then again, like what I just mentioned before, with like bones cracked and all that stuff goes away, or like you could both lose the food by stealing it, because it's just like, oh, I stole it and then I like lost it down the side, so neither one of you guys eat. But if you just cooperate, it's just like, okay, Og will go, oh, and then break it, and then you eat this like this, and then like Primal with freaking Fang and Spear, when they're like Primal's a really great show, people, if you haven't watched it, by the way. It's by Genndy Tartakovsky, who did Samurai Jack. Amazing show. It's basically if Pickle the caveman from Baki was his own character in the show. It's an amazing
Nice.
show. Yeah. So yeah, if there was something like that where they shared it, got on with their day, then yeah, I think that's the best route, because like to me, I just see
Okay.
it's too much trouble to go through the other ones.
Gotcha. So it seems like there's the. I think you're right. I think personal uh, responsibility is definitely more of a base level than any of the other things that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so because it's a rational self interest.
Mm-hmm.
So um, your morality seems to be based in um, doing things that are going to promote uh, the best outcomes for yourself and others,
Mm-hmm.
but promoting the best outcomes for others is also about you, in the sense that um, it puts you in a good situation so that there's not other people who are, you know, upset with you or danger to you or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
And it also makes you feel good because it satisfies your empathy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, okay. There might be something deeper than that, but we'd probably have to talk for a lot longer. um,
It's all good.
there might be something deeper than that. But based on you talking about emotional responses and you putting yourself in the other people's shoes and really thinking about like personal responsibility, it really feels like rational self-interest.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go so far as to call there's a thing called mitigated selfishness.
Right.
I wouldn't go so far as to call it that, but definitely a rational self-interest sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that that people like to say all the time, well, there's morality is just the laws that we have for from the government, or it's religion, or there's really
Right.
no such thing as morality, and it's like,
Right.
no, you think that there is.
Mm-hmm.
You may not realize that you do.
Right.
um, and it's there's something, and it's not just an emotional thing. It's something that the morality seems to be something that's achieved rationally. And
Right.
every time I have one of these conversations, we get to the base of what somebody thinks about moral beliefs, is always coming from some sort of uh, belief that is then built on logically.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's not coming from nowhere.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, cool. Well, I at the very beginning, I thought we were going to have a utilitarianism part two,
Right.
but we dug a little bit more,
Mhm.
and I think if you're cool with it, I think settling on rational self-interest is probably um, the
Of
base
my
level of what we're talking. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. I can dig it. Yeah.
Does that make sense for you if when you apply it to yourself, when you if you were to push it on yourself as a label, does it feel right?
Well, yeah, I'm very rational, and I do think about like stuff that is like pretty much I'm just trying to live my life. So yeah, that is self interest through that regard, and I'm just very empathetic in that regard because I feel like it's the right thing to. I feel a lot. So like to me, it's like based on my emotions. So I would see that the rational self interest does make sense because it's my emotions that are going
Because
through it.
it's very much based in you and what you want and
Exactly.
your basic inclinations of things. And I guess okay, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I okay, so the cool. Um, definitely took a bit of a turn, but I'm not upset with where it ended, and
Right.
it makes sense for you as a person who you know will try really hard not to murder everyone.
I try really hard every day of my life. I'm
what
trying.
what was that scene from that you just showed like that you
Oh, the
posted on
Carnage
Twitter?
one.
What was that?
There was a comic book where Carnage became like a superhero for a little bit, and everyone was just like,
Yeah,
"What the frick?" And so like he was like saying like, "I really, really don't want to kill him, even though I really want to. I'm trying my best not to kill people." And it was just like I've always like thought like, yeah, that is literally me. Like certain regards, like there are just so many people who are just like, yeah, you should be in the ground. But that cracked me up, and I just thought it was great. But yeah, that's pretty much what it
interesting.
was, just comic.
Cool.
Mm.
Do you have any final thoughts about the conversations that we had? Did you have any understanding of this, like, like what kind of what we settled on prior to this conversation? Do
Oh,
you
I think
understand?
yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I understand. Yeah, I think it makes like a ton of sense. Like, yeah, I like how we went through piece by piece and broke it down and asked a bunch of questions about stuff because it was like some of these questions is just like, oh yeah, I know I know it's good, but I don't know why it would be considered good. So that was really fun to talk about. And then yeah, just like looking at it piece by piece was super fun to like break down and just see exactly like why I think the way I do. But yeah, like it's pretty much uh I'm saying like just hey, if you don't start, nothing won't be nothing. That's my motto. Don't start,
Did
won't
we
be
end up in a place you didn't expect?
nothing. There were some questions I didn't expect, like oh yeah, like the whole groping thing. Like that was a good question because it took me for a while because I was like, oh yeah, well I know it's bad, but I just like trying to put it into words of why it's bad was just like a bit of a thing. But that was fun to do. And then yeah, yeah, this there was a bunch of twists and turns, but I had fun doing it. So yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that we were able to have the conversation.
Mm.
Um, so gonna name this episode "Rational Self-Interest." So
Nice.
that's good to
Good.
go, and I might even just call it JaxBlade's Rational Self-Interest, just for the
JaxBlade's rational.
SEO.
Yeah, that's good. Do it. Do it. Yeah, that's good. No, I love when like people actually tag you and you're actually in the video because like sometimes people tag me and I'm not in the video. I'm just like, oh, I see what you're doing. Whatever. Yeah, it's a joke. Oh, it's funny.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on the show and talking about your moral beliefs.
No problem.
I definitely like doing these. I think everybody who's done one of these has come out really, really enjoying it. Nobody has come out of it and being like, well, that was a waste of time.
Yeah, right. Well, god damn it, I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, it was super fun, Sensei. Like I had a great fun talking about morality
Cool.
stuff. Yeah, instead of like having someone just like look at me like, no, it's wrong to kill people. Like, no, some people deserve it. So yeah, that was fun. That was
So,
fun talking.
if you guys have anything that you'd like to say about, rational self-interest or Jax's moral beliefs or anything like that, please leave it in the comments.
Mm.
If you have any questions, you can leave those in the comments too. And if you feel like you want to be on the show and you think it might be fun, you're welcome to shoot me a message. Well, tag me on Twitter at the Anime Trainer, and we can kind of put you on the list. I've got a long list of people, so it might take a while. So hopefully you guys are patient with that. Before we get out of here, do you have anything that you would like to talk about? Anything you've got coming up? Where people can find you?
Well, I have two Tough Like the Tunes I'm working on, but I might have to push them back a bit because like they broke because I was doing my Spike Spiegel Tough Like the Tunes and I ripped this stuff because gains, and so I was just like, oh god, dang it, and so like I have to get like another thing for it, and then with my Inosuke one, like the sword cracked on me when I was like doing the thing, and I was like, god dang it, so I'm probably just gonna use these or something, but I'll see what I can do. But yeah, like I got a ton of content coming. I got a video with you coming. It's going to be an hour to our channel. It's going to be on Yujiro Hanma versus Hayato Furinji. That's going to be up hopefully sometime later this week. We had a lot of fun talking about it. And yeah, just if you want to come to my channel too, yeah, subscribe to my channel. I do a bunch of like workouts on various things and a bunch of like nerdy talks. And yeah, be sure to subscribe to Sensei 2, the GOAT of anime training. Like I always tell people, like he is the GOAT. He is the OG. Never forget that. All right. Like people seem to forget, but he is the GOAT. So yeah, I always got to give him props. But yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Sensei.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, good luck and train
hard.
hard.
Yeah.